The Super Game Boy was an amazing little piece of hardware that was released in June of 1994, and even today, it still is pretty amazing. Being able to play your Game Boy games on Super Nintendo sounds like pure science fiction. Well, not really, but at the time the concept seemed like science fiction to children everywhere, and turns out it came true. The dream we always wanted to play our Game Boy games on an actual TV came true. What you were able to do is basically take this cartridge, put it in your Super Nintendo console, pop in any Game Boy game you wanted to play, and voila, you could play it instantly on your Super Nintendo. And what's amazing is that certain games even had two-player capabilities. Now, when you bought it, it came with this 72-page book, which basically gave you hints and tips and whatnot for some of the most popular Super Nintendo games of the time. You could even get different borders depending on the game you were playing, such as, for example, if you were playing the Game Boy version of Donkey Kong, you would get this border. So in the US and the UK, as well as Japan, the Super Game Boy was fairly popular, and I remember several people owning it when I was a kid. And eventually it did get a sequel, but the sequel to the Super Game Boy was not released in the US or the UK. Instead, Japan got the exclusive Super Game Boy 2, and there would be no real true sequel to the Super Game Boy unless you consider the transfer pack to be a sequel, which you can really only, you can play Game Boy let me rephrase that. You can only play Pokemon Game Boy games through Pokemon Stadium using the transfer pack. Only the, I believe it was red, blue, yellow, and I think you could play the Japanese releases, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I've never tested that myself, but I know red, blue, and yellow were the only ones you could play through the transfer pack. So that's pretty much the story about the Super Game Boy. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. There wasn't much to talk about here, but the Super Game Boy is awesome. It's one of my favorite accessories for the Super Nintendo, and I know if I love it, you'll love it too. If you haven't tried one, go ahead and pick one up. You can get them off eBay anywhere from $10 to $25. The prices are fluctuating right now for some reason on them. And also, don't forget to pick up some of your favorite Game Boy games, whether you have some original Pokemon games. Now, you can play the Pokemon games up until Silver and Gold. Crystal was a Game Boy Color version. But you can play everything from up to Gold and Silver, and you can play any, pretty much any Game Boy game. It's restricted to Game Boy only. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell if you want notifications. And until next time when we talk about something just as awesome, I'll see you then.